Guys, Josh Reese here, Mr. Joshua on Twitter. I cover the Houston Rockets here in town, and I just wanted to take time out and tell you, if you don't know already, that the Houston Rockets have filled their 14th roster spot. They filled it by signing a guard by the name of Isaiah Taylor to a reported non-guaranteed 3-year deal. Now, for those of you who don't know who Isaiah Taylor is, let me first tell you he is part of the Houston Rockets system. He is he is on their D-League team, the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Taylor is also a local guy. He played at the Village High School here in Houston. I'll be honest, I don't watch very much Houston basketball, but for those of you that do know and care, Taylor is a local product. He went to, like I said, the Village High School, and he also played for the Texas Longhorns. Now, Taylor spent summer camp here with the Rockets. He played in the summer league. He also played in a few preseason games for the Rockets. And during the summer league, he showed decently. He showed okay. He had 5 points a game, 4 assists a game, and for the Rio Grande Valley Vipers, he is averaging 21 points a game to go along with 6 assists and 2.5 rebounds a game. He is scoring a team high 21.1 points a game. So a decent prospect for the Rockets to pick up. Now, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I know exactly everything about Isaiah Taylor, and I know exactly why the Rockets chose to keep Taylor despite having a very guard-heavy lineup. But what I will tell you is during his limited time here in Houston, when he was here, I personally did see some good burst. He was very quick. He showed a lot of flashes, and while he was very raw, you could see why the Rockets wanted him here in Houston. That being said, I don't know much about what he's been doing with the Vipers, but scoring a team high 21.1 points a game isn't very easy. You know, it takes talent to do that. In fact, the Rockets even mentioned. I should have wrote this down as part of my notes, but he's scoring 49.7% from the floor and 41.3% from three. And we all know how much the Houston Rockets love to shoot that three ball, and apparently he's shooting it very well. So you ask, why on earth did the Rockets sign a guard? I'll tell you. If you believe, and I guess I do believe that the Rockets had some tangible interest in Jose Calderon, you can see that apparently they did covet another guard. Now, while in a previous video, I don't know if you watched it or not, I did speculate that the Rockets, of course, should not be after Jose Calderon, but if they were going to waste a roster spot, I shouldn't say waste, that's a bad choice of words. If they were going to use a roster spot on a guard like that, they should choose to use it on someone with a little bit more potential and someone that's in their system, kind of reward a guy like that. I speculated that it should be Darius Morris, who is playing on the Vipers right now, scoring just a touch below Taylor, but he's also rebounding the ball a little bit better. I kind of thought that should be the guy that the Rockets should go after, but he's had a couple years in the league, while Taylor is more of a much younger guy, a little bit rawer of talent. But if you believe that the Rockets were interested in Calderon, you shouldn't have a hard time believing that they could see themselves using Isaiah Taylor, if not now, which they probably won't, but sometime later. I will share that per Jonathan Fagan of the Houston Chronicle, apparently there were a few teams that were interested in signing Taylor to a deal to join their team, but instead the Rockets chose to pull the trigger and keep him in-house. Fagan also reported that Taylor is likely going to be staying in the Rio Grande, much like Onuaku and Wilcher, who's already down there. So you don't need to be wondering when they're going to bring up Isaiah Taylor. It's not going to happen. Like I mentioned, they are guard heavy. They don't have a need for him. So when you think about that, they didn't. Why did they sign someone they don't have a need for, Josh? I'll tell you. It's a combination of a few things right now, but mainly it's asset gathering. If we know anything about Daryl Morey, he's a guy that likes to have as many assets that he can to throw at other moves that he might make down the road. Taylor is going to be cheap labor for a while for the Rockets, and if he hits, it's going to be someone that he can flip and be a good deal for someone, or it's going to be someone that they can have here play for the Rockets. It's going to be on a cheap contract. So it's a steal for the Rockets if he hits. If he doesn't hit, the Rockets really lost nothing. He's on a non-guaranteed contract. They can cut him at any time. So the 14th roster spot was not something that was going to make or break the Houston Rockets this year. It wasn't going to be something that was going to make them that much better of a team. So why not reward a guy that's been doing very well for you down in the Rio Grande? But what I will say is the 15th final roster spot that the Rockets have available right now, they still don't have filled as of Monday night. Apparently Andrew Bogut is still kind of weighing options, but he has made it known that he will decide sometime soon, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. So by the time you're watching this video, Andrew Bogut might have already signed with the Rockets, probably the Cavs though. But I will say that the 15th roster spot for the Rockets is a little bit bigger of a deal. Of course, they've kind of made it known that they're interested in Andrew Bogut, and that's a little bit harder to find anywhere else in the D-League or out in the CBA or a free agent or something like that. So it's going to be kind of difficult to find someone that does what the Rockets want in Andrew Bogut, which is someone who can protect the rim, someone who can rebound, and someone who can set screens for James Harden. It sounds like a simple task, but finding those bigs out there that can do it is going to be another task for Daryl Morey. So, like I said, the 14th roster spot, not that big of a deal. But the 15th and final roster spot is going to be a little bit more of a challenge for the Rockets, and they're going to be using that roster spot a little bit more than number 14. Number 14 is definitely not going to come and play in this year unless something drastic happens, like Patrick Beverley and Lou Williams go down. Then you're in all hands mode, and that's when an Isaiah Taylor would come into play. So if Isaiah Taylor is playing for the Houston Rockets this year, it means something drastically went wrong. You want Isaiah Taylor to keep developing out in the Rio Grande. So going back to the 15th roster spot, the Rockets will be looking for someone who is a free agent before March 1st, because that's the NBA's deadline, that a player has to be a free agent before that time, so they can play on a team's playoff roster. So if there's a guy out there that is a free agent after March 1st, that is not someone that the Rockets are going to want to sign, because that player will not be able to help the Rockets. They're going to be looking for guys that are free agents before March 1st. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce on out of here because, like I said, Andrew Bogut probably is not going to end up coming to the Rockets, but we will eventually be making another video. I will. I don't know why I said we. I will be making another video about guys who could be on the Rockets' radar. And no, it's not Larry Sanders. I wish it was Luis Scola, but it's probably not going to be Luis Scola either. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure to watch some of the other videos I have up there. I got a bunch of stuff from the Rockets post-game. I appreciate you guys for giving this a watch. My name is Josh Reese. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Joshua. And with that said, I'm going to bounce.